And this should be familiar territory. There's the keyboard to pull out, and that should be allow you to advance.
Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to bring attention to the petition that I...
Oh,
Okay, I'll try to talk louder.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
There, thank you.
So I'd like to bring attention to the petition that I started. We are at 374 signatures, and that is more than the number of participants that responded to the Measure E phone survey. So we often run into there is no funding for a second shelter vet. The general fund is always projected to have more revenue than expenditures. Thank you. So let's take a look at the items that we do have funding for. Dry cleaning. $210,000 for 3 years, for a 3-year contract for uniform dry cleaning. We had $19,600 for the Washington Marriott Capitol Hill lodging. We had $15,500 for 2 council retreats that I know of. We had $7,767 for vet care for 1 canine. We had $49,000 for something called Visit Elk Grove. We had $726 for council member business cards, anniversary cards with envelopes, and the list goes on. The animal shelter staffing study is over $16,000. We could have told you it was short-staffed. And I would take a look at Resolution 2022-53. We spent over $9 million to purchase 100 acres for the planned Elk Grove Zoo location. How are we considering bringing exotic animals to Elk Grove when we allegedly do not have funding for a second vet to care for the animals already here? And lastly, I am willing to start a GoFundMe to get the money needed to hire a second vet, and I hope that you will make a resolution that the city manager can accept the donations that will go towards this vet. I'm going to take a look at the other spending that I saw that I didn't include on here. We had the $19,000 in airplane tickets to the lobbying D.C. trip, $4,200 for sunglasses, $2,000 worth of YouTube subscriptions for these buildings, $900 worth of cookies that was spent at an event, $650 for an unlimited espresso bar, $2,000 for a human snow globe experience, and $450 for a movie screening. So if we can't find the funding in the general fund, I will make a fundraiser for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Catherine Mendoza, followed by Stacy P.
All right, my name is Kathy. I'm going to be talking about why we need to hire a second vet. So in all parts of government, I've noticed that there's always a backup, such as Bobbie Singh-Allen, the mayor. She has a backup, the vice mayor. The only thing that I've noticed is that the shelter vet, there's still one for this entire city. There's only one shelter vet, no backup. So if she's out, we're all struggling. As we've always said, this low-cost solution for the overpopulation is to hire a second shelter vet. Some of the problems that we've been experiencing are a lot of people are uncomfortable with the idea of kittens being aborted, which is very often. I've already had to take in several cats, and 11 kittens have been aborted. Sick and injured cats are not treated due to lack of staff on some days. Unfixed cats are released after being turned away from the shelter when they hit their maximum, and kittens are flooding the shelters. A second shelter vet could assist with all of these things. We have a contract with Kittle Veterinary Practice for an amount not to exceed $60,000. I have never been able to use that for any of the feral cats that we bring in. We're turned away. There's no animal control after the shelter closes. There's no vet services after the shelter closes. And most of the cats that are trapped are feral, so they only come out at night. This is one of the cats that one of our volunteers trapped on the same street as the shelter, and she was unable to get any help with that until the following morning when she was able to drop that cat off at the shelter. But yet you guys have a contract for not to exceed $120,000 with VCA Bradshaw. And it even says in the whereas that the shelter cares for stray and homeless animals, but I haven't seen much of that. These are a couple of things that there is money for, including LED light-up sunglasses. The chief of police had a story time where candy canes were purchased for $110. You have a round lip balm, a Mexican fiesta buffet at the Cafe Elk Grove. There was cookies for a staff survey, which cost $912. You guys took a trip to D.C., $24,755.54. That's only a fraction of what I've seen in the spending. So there is city funding available, but there's also state funding. You can apply for grants. The SPCA applied for one and got $705,000. Kim would have signed up for it, but she needs your tax information to do that. These are a couple of questions that you guys might want to consider. If anybody's available for bottle feeding, 12 a.m. check-ins for the shelter to drop off feral cats. If anybody can hold on to a feral cat post-surgery 24 hours, that's typically what we all do. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up is Stacy P., followed by Alan Vito.
I was trapping successively this last week, so I wasn't really prepared, but I drafted something up, so forgive me for the mess. We're going to be coming here every week if you haven't figured it out. We're going to irritate the heck out of you guys until we get some attention. We need staff, additional staff to help the shelter. The citizens are overwhelmed by all the cats. My phone does not stop. By the time I wake up in the morning, it was midnight last night when I finally caught the last cat.